All right, guys. Good evening. Welcome to another Solar Kings Tuesday. My name is Huston O'Connor. Looking forward to working with you tonight. We've got some great training. Eric asked me some specific information that he wanted to cover tonight. So hopefully give you guys some additional info, help you learn a little bit more about the business and continue to improve. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing what we can do to help. So getting started here, I'm going to start off by opening the floor to any new recruits. Do we have anybody on the call that's new to Powur, new to the Solar Kings?
Hey, Houston, this is Dan Castro.
Hey, Dan, how you doing?
I don't know if good, man. Good seeing you. Listen, I don't know if they're on yet, but I introduced two new guys last night, Zach and Joey. They're from North Carolina. They're looking to take over that scene and make it something better than what it is right now.
Very nice.
So they should be jumping on. They may be a little late just because they're an hour ahead of us, but hopefully they jump on. But those are two guys from the North Carolina area.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the new consultants. Hopefully we can get them on and start them off on the right foot. Who else has folks?
Houston, I got two invites too. Hopefully they'll join potential consultants for Willie's World.
Very nice. Awesome, Willie. Congrats, man. Keep getting out there and recruiting. Keep growing that team, right?
Yes, sir.
Who else has got stuff? Anybody else got something, new recruits? All right, we're going to move on then. Let's start out with shout outs. Who's got some success stories this week that they want to share with the team? Anything good that's happening in your world that you feel like the team might benefit from? I'll go ahead. I'll give you one. C-Ray and I have been working for the last month and a half with a gentleman who has developed a product for HVAC units that once injected and installed on the unit has the potential to improve the efficiency up to 20%. And just in the last couple days, we've finally gotten our EIN set up. We've got our licensing set up. We've got our bank account set up. So we're ready to start selling this product. I'm probably in the next week or two going to invite the inventor and the founder of it to join our call to give us a little bit more information about it, because I think it could potentially be something that could be very valuable in the solar space. I was actually introduced to it through one of our mutual installers, one of our install partners. He told me that he installs it on 80% of his installs because he's able to give the customer an overall cheaper price by selling them a smaller solar system and reaching the same total offset by increasing the efficiency of their unit. So looking forward to sharing a little bit more info on that with you guys over the next week or two, and hopefully give you another tool in your tool belt to be able to help your consumer. Maybe that means giving someone who you can only give them a 60% offset, tack on the extra, so the HVAC product, and now all of a sudden you're at 75 or 80. Or if you're competing, selling them an 8 kilowatt system where your competition selling them a 10 kilowatt system and still giving them the same benefit. So looking forward to share more on that. Anybody else got success stories or anything that they want to shout out? Willie, I see you're unmuted.
Yes. Also, we, Puerto Rico is opening up. I've contacted a couple of people. We're going to make a trip to Puerto Rico to go and start recruiting down there. Very nice. Right now, we just, expanding our team. We just got two people. We just had a consultant join, and we got another one joining today, Julio. And we got another one, Juan, and Justin is going to join too. So all the J's, triple J's. So we're just expanding the team right now and working on that enterprise.
Awesome, Willie. Keep it up, man.
Yeah.
Eric, your hand's up. What's up?
Yeah, Willie, that's awesome, man. I'm proud. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Happy for your organization is growing.
Yes.
Remember how we talked about this about 2 years ago?
Yes, sir. I remember. And, you know, you say stick and stay. And look, that's where we at.
Now you're on fire, and I love it. It brings tears to my eyes right now. I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, I was planning on visiting Puerto Rico too. If November works for you, let me know, because I was thinking about November. I think that would be a really great opportunity for a lot of people on the team as well. It would be kind of cool, kind of take a team trip. It's like $500 to go to Puerto Rico. It's like $500. You don't need a passport. And hey, let's run the streets.
Yeah.
Let's run the streets, guys. But yeah, man, Willie, think about that in November and let me know, okay?
Yes, sir. I will. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Anybody else got shout outs? Anything they want to talk about before we get going into some training?
Well, a big shout out to you there, big man. Thanks for all your expertise and your willingness to support me.
Absolutely, Dana. We appreciate you. You're glad to have you here every week and just willing to be here and learn. So hopefully I'll be able to give you some good info tonight that will help you save you and or your clients a little bit of money in change orders. So we'll look forward to a little bit more info on that in a minute.
I got
move on. Just, business is still hot, guys. We're almost to the end of August. School's back in session and people are starting to kind of refocus on stuff. I don't know if anybody has noticed, but this over the last week and a half or so, my phone has been substantially more busy than it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. People are starting to get back in a routine and starting to think about these types of home improvement projects again. So make sure you're continuing to put the word out there and stay front of mind so that when you do have someone who decides, you know what, it's time for me to look at solar, you're the first one they think about. So keep going, keep the word out, and keep pushing hard as business is going to continue to stay hot for the foreseeable future. Got a bunch of closed deals this week. Just want to give a shout out to all those of you who closed a deal this week. Dana, were you trying to raise your hand?
Yeah, I just had a question. It's not a shout out, but before we get started, does anybody know where we can get those shirts and hats like Jonathan was wearing last night on the presentation that has Powur and solar on it? The only ones that I've seen available to order are just the shirts that have Powur on it. I'm looking for one that says Powur Solar. Does anybody have any idea where we can order those?
Get with Kristen Montalvo. He'll make you a shirt.
Yeah. He's right.
Christian can make them for you for sure.
Yeah, because Powur's company name is not Powur Solar, it's Powur. So these are special made shirts with the word solar underneath it. And Christian can get in touch with you. Dana, I'll get in touch with you. No worries, man.
All right, guys. Do we have anybody that's tiered up this week? Anybody that closed their third deal as a tier 1 and moved up to tier 2? Or anybody who's going for tier 3? We want to make sure and give you guys a huge shout out.
I hit tier 2 today.
Matthew, yeah, that's right, man. Congratulations.
Hey!
They finally got that third one processed for you, huh?
Yeah.
Good
Congratulations,
job.
guys. Matthew's just, he's hustling, man. He's out there. He's working hard. I know he and I worked on a couple mentor-mentee deals that we actually didn't even get a chance to propose before he hit tier 2. So I'm going to turn him loose on those and let him run. But expect him to be a tier 3 pretty darn soon. I don't think it's going to take very long at all.
Yeah, just give me a week or so, hopefully.
There you go. That's a lofty goal, but I like it.
Yeah.
Ron, I see you came unmuted. What you got?
No, I don't doubt that he'll hit tier 3 soon. I know Matt.
He's out there killing it. So keep it up, Matt.
Thanks, buddy.
Keep growing your team too. You've got a great group of guys working with you. And
Oh, yeah, every
I
day.
think we're going to see big things out of your team soon.
No, yeah, all the guys that I'm bringing on are winners.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats again.
Thanks.
Anybody else out there who's tiered up this week?
Let me see.
Anybody, Eric?
I have somebody on the team that's going to be a tier 2 very soon. Richard Murray, want to give him a shout out. And Matt, keep going, man. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the numbers. Just do the activity and everything will fall into place.
Amen, man. Whoop. I messed up that slide. But anyway, so important Powur. Hold on just a second. Let's fix this.
I knew you weren't perfect.
I know, right? Killing me, Smalls.
I had him busy today. Sorry.
Seriously, Ron put me through the ringer today. The deal we were working on this afternoon was a tough one.
Yeah. Sounds like we're going to.
I like our odds of getting it done, Ron. I think we showed them we know what we're doing and we're providing a solution that works for them. So we're going to make it happen. So, all right. Important
that's because
Powur
Ron
updates.
only finds monster deals.
Wait, what was that?
I said that's because Ron only finds monster deals and they're always complicated.
That is very true. This one already had an existing 12 kilowatt system. We're adding another 6 kilowatt system with 2 batteries, and they want to replace their solar edge inverter with micro inverters. So trying to figure all this stuff out is fun, to say the least. So
hey,
we're going to try and make it work
very
for them.
Fortunate to have Houston on our squad. Am I right?
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, Houston, awesome. It's awesome.
Amen, man. Appreciate you. So important updates. First and foremost, starting September 1st, your back office pricing is going to be going up, but you're also going to get more out of it. So Powur is combining the $49 back office charge with the $35 Powur Live charge. So everyone will now be a Powur Live member. So you'll have access to that live training weekly as long as in addition to the monthly training that they provide through the Powur Live platform. So expect that difference starting September 1st. On your renewal, you're going to get charged $85 instead of the $49 if you're not Powur Live. Next is the roofing updates. Why is that doing that? It's still messed up. All right. So let me fix this. Sorry, guys. Bear with me.
Hey, no worries. Really quickly, I wanted to just expand on the reasoning of the $50 to $85. Guys, Powur Live is an absolute game changer. It really is. There's training on there that you don't get from the for the normal trainings that Powur has. You have weekly accountability, immersive training, and you get other benefits as well. But the fact of the matter is that more people in the company that are on Powur Live versus people that are not are showing to be more successful. So Powur is just saying, look, if you can't pay 85 versus 50, then maybe this isn't for you. But they're saying also, if you really want to do this, you want to be successful, we're going to help you. We're going to help you really well. And it's $85 a month. So it's just something brand new. I mean, honestly, when Powur first started as a lead generation company, the investment was $500 to get in. It was crazy. But it is it's the $185 now to get started. We're lucky it's not $100,000, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and on that note, Eric, I just wanted to point out, I didn't commit to Powur Live for the first 5 or 6 months. And as soon as I made that commitment, I saw my business take off. The accountability that it provides, the coaching that you get. I mean, basically what it is, guys, every week you get paired with 4 or 5 people from somewhere around the country, and you never know who you're going to get paired with. You could get paired with Jonathan Brunasso or JC Rangel or any of these big name superstars, and you get 30 minutes to pick their brain one-on-one. And that happens every week. You get rotated through, so you're constantly talking to different folks. You get different perspectives from around the country, and the information that you get through that is just massive. So consider it a gift for them to be forcing you to do this, because now that you're paying for it, you might as well join. So if you want to grow your business, trust me, you need to be on those weekly training calls as much as possible and get the best out of it. Next update is the roofing policy updates. So a lot of information here. So basically, a Powur roofer is defined as a roofing subcontractor that has signed the Powur roofing MSA, has gone through onboarding, and is managed by the Powur roofing team. So all three of those qualifications have to be met. Powur will not accept pass-through bids obtained by sellers without engagement. So you have to ask the roofing team if it's okay for you to get a pass-through bid before they're going to accept that. Enterprise accounts that are roofers or have roofer associations must comply with the policy. Roof waivers are not allowed. If the project requires roof work to complete solar, it has to get done. So Eric, you got your hand up. I'll let you go first, and then Gus, I see your hand up too.
Thank you, Huston. Can you kind of explain to people about the pass-through bids?
The pass-through bids, basically, let's say, for example, I had a scenario a while back where I asked Powur for a quote, and it was a very unique roof. It was a TPO flat roof, and the quote that I got from Powur was almost double what the client had gotten somewhere else. And so I contacted roofing and said, look, I'm going to lose this solar job because of our roof quote, because it's way out of line. Can I use the roofer that he brought that's already given him a quote and do a pass-through bid? And essentially what happens in that scenario, Powur approved it. They said, yeah, that's fine. The cost difference makes sense. We get that. So what they'll do, the client can work with the roofer to get the roof replaced, but then Powur will not issue a check. So Powur issues a rebate check to the client for the cost of the roof. So it's a little bit more clunky, but in that scenario, it was what had to be done in order to save the deal. So the pass-through bid, basically they issue a rebate for the cost of the roof. Gus, what you got your hand up? What do you want to say?
I need a paper towel when they're ready.
I just want to give a shout out. I know we're past it, but he wasn't on here earlier. But Oscar closed his first solo deal last week. Big old whopping. Things like, what was it, Oscar? Like 12 kilowatt.
Yes,
Very
sir. 12
nice.
killy.
Sweet.
Awesome, man. Congrats, Oscar. Well, welcome to tier 2, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
One step closer to 3, right? You got 4 more to go.
Definitely looking forward to being a mentor here. I was a mentor actually in the alarm industry. I've been pretty much in that industry for about 10 years. So looking forward to hopefully bringing the same to the table here at Solar soon.
Very nice, man. Well, yeah, congratulations. I think alarm sales and solar sales, there's a lot of crossover there. So I'm sure you're gonna get out there and continue to kill it. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Hey, Huston.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Julio Lopez is on. He's a new consultant.
Awesome. Julio, welcome, man. Welcome to the team. You want to unmute and introduce yourself real quickly? Julio, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me see. Let's see. He unmutes himself.
I see him. He's on mute. We'll jump back to him if he unmutes.
Okay.
So last thing as far as important updates, they just announced another Powur Day. This one's going to be a little bit different than the last 2 have been because it's going to be virtual. So September 17th, we're going to be having a virtual Powur Day. Teams from around the country are going to be getting together, networking. We're going to do another proposal or presentation. So if you've got potential consultants that you want to bring to the call, that's the time to do that and get them involved. Help them start to meet some of the team members and become part of the Solar Kings team. So looking forward to that. looking forward to getting a little bit more details for you guys as we get closer to that date. Next is the Summer of Champions update. This is your current leaderboard. We do, I believe we still have a few names that are inside the top 50. They didn't publish the full top 50 this week, so all I have is the current top 25. So there's where we're at right now. If you're close, get out there, sell another deal, recruit another consultant, and get your name on this list. The prizes and rewards are going to be huge. Can't wait to see that. That goes through September 15th. So we've got a little over 2 weeks left to close out strong on that event. So with that said, anybody else have anything they want to add before we get into tonight's training? Eric?
Yes. Be on the lookout for a flyer for Saturday, September 10th event. The leadership will be having William Contreras, the Millionaire Club member here in San Antonio, Texas, at the real estate office of Victoria EXP Realty Group. I'm going to put it in here. It's at La Cantera Mall. Hold on 1 second. La Cantera Mall, Saturday, September 10th. From, I'll put it right here, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we'll be doing a opportunity presentation, but it's going to be with William Contreras, which is a great, great guy. And it's going to be a packed room. It's going to be real packed, just like last time, probably more than 80 people this time. Well, I'm looking to break 100 people. But it's going to be really great. We're going to have the opportunity presentation for anybody that would like to listen to why people are going solar and why it's a great opportunity. And then after that, we'll be doing a few trainings as well. And we'll have mentors there to help with deals or help you close help you help your friends, family, whoever decide to move forward and be a solar consultant just like you. So Saturday, September 10th, 10 to 2 a.m. That's going to be our training here live. So thanks, Houston. Oh, yeah. And also Gus and Rob will be here from Dallas, Texas. So you definitely want to meet those gentlemen. Rob Sanchez is going to do a training on how to edit the proposal. You don't want to miss that. That is going to be a great training. How to look at a proposal, and what are the determining factors of editing that proposal to be, at the best possible point to close it. And Gus just comes with a wealth of knowledge. Gus has been in Powur since the beginning of time, and he's with us. He has some lead generation tips and tricks. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. Don't miss it. Let's all come together as a team, show up for this event, bring somebody, bring a friend, family member, network, old coworker, old boss. You know how we do it. Free tacos in the morning, free drinks. It's going to be fun. Thanks, Houston.
All right, well, let's get into tonight's training. And it should be hopefully one that gives you a lot of good information. And I'm going to push you to think a little bit. So I put out on the group chat earlier, bring your calculator. Because tonight we're going to be talking about what triggers a main panel upgrade and how to avoid it. So why do we need a main panel upgrade? What's the trigger point that causes a main panel upgrade? And basically, it's what they call the 120% rule. The 120% rule says that the sum of the amperage rating of the overall current devices, or the overcurrent devices in circuits supplying power to a bus bar or conductor, shall not exceed the rating of the bus bar or conductor. There's a lot of words there. What does it mean? So when you're looking at a typical main panel, you've got that top breaker, right? That top breaker is the main breaker for the entire system. Whatever that breaker rating is, is the rating that's being supplied to that bus bar. So if you have a 200 amp main breaker, you're supplying 200 amps to that bus bar. Now, the bus bar rating is something that you can find on the sticker inside the door of the panel. And per code, the bus bar rating can only accept up to 120% of its rating. So let's take an example. You've got a 200 amp bus bar rating, which 120% of that means that you're allowed a max load of 240 volts. You're doing that calculation, main bus bar rating times 1.2. So we got 240 minus your main breaker rating. That's going to give you what your allowable backfeed from your solar system is. Oops. Sorry. So let's say, just for example's sake, this scenario, you've got 240 amps of available backfeed. You currently have a 200 amp breaker on your main. Who can tell me how much backfeed would be allowed in that scenario? Don't everyone speak up at once. I'm gonna call on you.
40 amps.
40 amps.
40 amps, there you go, exactly. So in that scenario, you'd only have 40 amps of available backfeed. So how do you calculate how much backfeed your solar system is gonna generate? Now, depending on whether you're using in-phase or solar edge, it's a little bit different. So let's look at those calculations. Where did I get these numbers? Just so you know, guys, if you look up the spec sheets will show you what the continuous output of an individual inverter is, whether that's an in-phase IQ8 or the solar edge. It'll show you the continuous output in amps, and that's how you're going to do that calculation. So with in-phase, it's on a per unit basis. So let's just say you have 10 panels and you're using IQ8M microinverters. With a 1.35 amp per microinverter output, 10 panels is going to put out 13.5 amps. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? We good? Solar edge is a little bit different. Solar edge, because it's one large inverter, you can go straight to that continuous output and find out what that system is going to output. So it's dependent upon the size. The bigger the inverter goes, the more backfeed it gives you. So if we're looking at that scenario before, you've got 40 amps of available backfeed. What's the biggest solar edge inverter that you could use without having to do a main panel upgrade? Looking at these figures.
7,600.
There you go. Because that anything over 40, we're backfeeding more than is allowed. You got to upgrade that panel. So any questions on this stuff, guys?
So we talked about this today with the client. You were talking about the M versus the plus and the in phase.
So that has more to do, what I was talking about with that particular client has more to do with the size of the panel and which inverter is appropriate for the size of the panel. So we were quoting them the Hanwha Q-Cell 400s, which is right on kind of the high end of what's acceptable for the IQ8 Plus. But if you're going up to the 415 mission, that needs the IQ8M in order to avoid, because basically with the Plus and the 415 panel, you'd get what they call clipping, which means the panel would be producing energy, but the microinverter couldn't process it. And so you're essentially losing the extra wattage that the panel's giving you because the microinverter doesn't have the capacity to convert it. Does that make sense?
It does.
So it does translate here because obviously the IQ8 Plus puts out fewer amps than the IQ8M. So the conversion is still kind of the same. It's just a different measurement of the electricity and kind of the function of it, really. So I ran out to my house earlier today and I took a couple pictures. So who can tell me, looking at the label on the left, what size is my main panel? Can anybody tell me where that is?
225.
Yes, sir. And where I'm looking at that is right here. So you see right here. Somebody say something.
Why wouldn't you? So, you know, somebody brand new looking at this, why wouldn't they choose the 125 above it versus the 225? I'd be like, which one is it? You know.
So you're always going to go with the lower one, which is the total capacity of the 2 poles of the breaker, of the bus bar. So each bus bar has 2 sides to it, and the total capacity is 225. Whereas the individual capacity, there's one bus bar that's 100 and one that's 125.
So what does the 175 on the main panel top switch mean?
So that is, so just so you know, guys, this box already has solar on it. So this is a 175 main breaker, which means that the max load that would be supplied from the grid is 175 amps, which gives me an additional 50 amps worth of backfeed from the solar system for the total of 125 bus bar rating, right? And actually, it's not even that, because technically the bus bar rating is 225 times 1.2. I've got a max backfeed of 270 amps. So what my installer did, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, they did a derate on my panel so that they could install a 50 amp breaker for my solar system and still be under the max backfeed of 270, or the max current of 270. Does that make sense?
Wouldn't your backfeed be 95?
That's so with the 175 there, I have a max backfeed of 95. You're correct. But my solar system only needed 50. It actually needed a little bit less than that, because I've got 31 panels, and actually I'm skipping ahead, so I'm not going to tell you yet. All right, so looking at this panel, we've got a 255 amp bus bar, a 175 amp main bar, or main breaker. What's the max solar backfeed? We just answered that question. We got 270 max load, 95 available backfeed. So I have 31 IQ7 plus inverters on my house with a backfeed of 1.21 amps per inverter. So real quickly, what's my total backfeed from my solar system?
$175.
So it's 31 times 1.21.
Oh yeah, that's the, okay, yes, sorry.
So it's 37.51.
Okay.
There's your max backfeed. So that's what's required for my solar system. So technically we could have gotten away with putting a 40 amp breaker on the backfeed side. But just out of abundance of caution, the installer went with a 50. It could have been either that, it could have been that that's just what they had available. But because the solar system doesn't ever have the potential to backfeed that much, I don't really have to worry about that breaker ever tripping.
Hey, Houston, question.
Yes, sir.
Normally they send an electrician with the installers.
Absolutely.
So the electrician will be taking, basically will make sure this happens to our customers, correct?
So they're going to do it the right way, but it's important for you to understand this so that you don't always have to include a main panel upgrade in your quotes.
There you go. Okay, that's what I want to get. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, you're basically including a $2,300 adder, and if you're doing it as a to be determined, yes, it's great when you find out that it's not necessary and you get that added back to your margin. But like I can tell you, I have a lot of deals where I'm competing with other companies, and a lot of these other companies will actually include a main panel upgrade if it's necessary. And so in order for me to compete, I have to try to find ways to minimize the cost.
Gotcha.
So if you can look at that panel, if you can go out there and look at it and say, okay, I've got a 225 amp bus bar. Right now I've got a 200 amp main. What do I need to do to fit this solar system in? There's a couple ways that you can do it. And that's what we're going to talk about next.
Cool.
So there's an alternative option under the electrical adders called a derate. So why would you use a derate? What do you think a derate does? So we already talked about it a little bit. A derate takes that 225 amp bus bar, and because they install a smaller breaker as the main, you're derating the max feed or the max current coming from the grid side to allow more backfeed from the solar system. So my home didn't have a main breaker to begin with, but a lot of the homes that you see out there have a 200 amp main. And so if you've got a 200 amp main breaker and a 225, or let's say you have a 200 amp main and a 200 amp breaker, or in a 200 amp bus bar, you only have 40 amps worth of backfeed available from solar. And so if you're building a large solar system, you may need to derate that breaker to a 175 or even a 150 to give you enough backfeed space for the solar system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So why use a derate? Exactly, I forgot to click, but example, 200 amp bus bar allows for a max load of 240. My allowable backfeed, we already kind of talked through this, so I've only got 40 amps to work through. So to complete a derate, we'd swap it out and we'd allow for a smaller main breaker, which basically just limits the amount of energy or amount of amperage that the grid can provide and keeps that bus bar from overheating. Any questions, guys? There's a lot of numbers and stuff involved in that, but I hope that makes sense. Always looking at the 120% rule and doing a quick calculation to figure out how much room you need could potentially save you and your client a lot of money by building the system the right way to begin with. So,
a lot of this information is obviously new to a lot of us. Is there any of this information that we could look at that would be like in the Knowledge Center?
You know, I really haven't found a lot of good info on this particular stuff.
Okay.
I found two really good YouTube videos. I'll post those on if I can find them again, I'll post those to the group chat so you can watch those. One talks about the 120% rule, and then one of them talks about derates.
Yeah, because I mean, that was really good information, but we went through it pretty, there's a lot of information to go over, right? So I feel like a lot of us might need to go over that slower or again to make sure that we get it, because I would say that I'm a pretty smart guy and that was still a little tricky for me.
Yeah, it took me a minute to wrap my brain around it. So basically the couple things that you need to know, or just keep in mind, the 120% rule. So whatever your main bus bar is rated for, it's allowed to handle up to 120%.
Okay.
And then if you look at your main breaker, the 120% minus that main breaker rating, that's how much room you have for the solar backfeed. That's the main thing. I'll post some screenshots of this stuff too, of the slides. That way you guys have access to that and you can go back and look at it again.
Hey, I got 2 of those questions right.
So, Ron, you're the winner of the evening, buddy.
Hey,
I will help you try and close a big upgrade system.
Well, we have 3 in the works, so hey, every blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, so I got lucky.
Exactly.
I guess maybe and Houston, this is a great training, by the way. Thank you so much for doing what you do.
No problem, man.
But Matt's right. You know, a lot of us are just like, dang, you know, this is like so much, you know, like.
Oh, you asked me to get into the weeds tonight, buddy.
You know what would be great? I think everybody, if you took a picture of your own main panel breaker on your home and maybe upload it in the Facebook Messenger, and we can kind of talk about it there too, or we can bring it up at the next training. You know, maybe you can send a couple pictures to Houston and we can bring up examples on the next training. We're always looking for feedback, and we're always looking for you know, things to talk about on our trainings to help you grow. So I think the main thing is trying to understand when you open that panel and you look at it, you know, what are we looking at to see that it may need a full main panel unit replacement, you know, versus a D rate or nothing. You know what I mean? Thank you.
Yep.
I got a question, Houston.
Yes, sir.
So on the D rates, if they have to change it out, I mean, are they still going to have to do a main panel upgrade?
So with a D rate, the D rate basically replaces the main panel upgrade. So instead of them having to upgrade the entire main panel, which is essentially upgrading the bus bar and everything, a D rate is just replacing the main breaker.
Okay.
Lyle, I see your hand up.
Yeah, that was pretty much going to be my question too. I guess you would work with the installer to do a D rate in one of those situations. And there's no cost to a D rate, or is there still like a smaller cost associated?
A D rate right now is a $600 adder in Solo.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can find it under the same place where you find the to be determined upgrade. It'll be right there. It says D rate.
Okay. Yeah, it's still cheaper than a main panel upgrade. So I got
Yeah, for sure.
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
How do you know you can do a D rate in regards to that panel? How do you know you can take your main down? Is there any stipulations to dropping that main?
So the video that I'll post to the group will give you a little bit more detail on that. But basically, you can look at the other breakers that are there and kind of figure out what the average load is. I mean, the reality is most average homes are never using anywhere close to even 100 amps at any given time. And so 90% of the time, you don't have that problem. The only issue is going to be if you've got multiple devices that are pulling huge amperage loads, then you may have issues with a D rate. But, you know, I mean, it would take a lot of amps to not be able to do a D rate.
Yes, Houston, and part of that, peeling back the onions, looking at the size of their AC unit.
Yep. Yeah, all of that goes into it. I mean, if you've got someone with a pool pump, 2 AC units, and you know, all kinds of stuff that are large draw loads, that may be something you have to consider. But the reality is that you're probably never going to be dealing with a situation where your home is using that full 150 or 175 amps at one time. And that's really the key. So basically the purpose of the breaker is if there's a surge of power that is in excess of that 150, 175, 200, whatever it is, the breaker trips and cuts it off so that the bus bar doesn't overheat. That's the purpose of the main breaker.
We have a lot of surges out in PEC territory.
Yeah. Lyle, you got your hand up for a while, man. What's your question?
Oh, I just think I never took my hand down. Sorry about that.
No problem. Any other questions, guys? Well, we've got about 15 minutes. Anything else that anybody wants to cover tonight? Anything that you know any of us here on the call can answer, help you out with? Eric, you want to say anything before we finish up?
All right, guys. Now we're gonna get into what a bus bar is. No, I'm just kidding. Or
Go on.
Thank you so much, Houston. You're the man. You know, you do so much for a lot of us, bro, and it does not go unnoticed.
I appreciate you guys.
Yes. Guys, we are doing amazing in Powur. We're crushing numbers all over the place. Powur Solar is showing crazy month-over-month statistics. Every time that they try that they make their goal, they supersede it. The stock is going to be insane. So remember, that's a big thing right there, is getting your first sale so you can get your 25 stock options. And also, you know, a lot of people out there, and I talk about this a lot, but, you know, they say repetition is the mother of all learning, and I'll repeat myself until I'm dead. But a lot of people out there they need an opportunity. Okay. Real estate agents, 90% of them sell, I don't know, I think 80 to 90% sell like 1 to 2 houses a year. 1 to 2 houses a year. Like there's only really just a, you know, couple badasses out there. I think Christopher Wood on here is in real estate doing amazing things.
Gangster.
Yeah. What's that?
I said he's a gangster.
Yeah. Does great stuff. He's a beast. But in reality, most don't have it that good. Insurance, I mean, who can't find an insurance agent these days? They're everywhere, right? In the car sales industry, those guys, they're ordering cars for their clients and they're not coming in. And guess what? They don't get paid until that car comes in. You know, the housing market took a hit with interest loans and, mortgage loans. And now, you know, less and less people are wanting to buy homes. So loan officers are also hurting too. You're in a winning industry right now. I want you to understand that. You are in an industry that's fresh and it's winning. And it's only getting better and better and better. Every day, every month, every year, we're doing better and better and better. No matter what people say about solar. Last year, I think Houston said this one time, there was a solar system sold every single minute last year. What does that tell you? You are in the right industry, you're at the right time, and you're with the right team. We're doing a lot of great things. We have a lot of great leaders on this squad, like Houston, Gus, I know Rob as well, Robbie Duarte. He is an excellent brand new mentor. But we have the help here. We have the support. So listen, I don't know if you've been in a lot of opportunities before and a lot of business opportunities before, but a lot of people haven't. A lot of people didn't make a lot of money. You got to get out there and tell them to look at Powur, look at what solar is doing now. Okay. This is only going to help you grow. I promise you. Everything that you're learning today, it's important that we share this with other people. A lot of people are scared of solar because they don't understand it. They're not educated. So that's what your job is. Mm-hmm. It's not selling. It's not forcing. It's not none of that. It's sharing. It's educating, right? And so you have to be consistent on your message. consistent in your efforts, consistent on content with social media, what you're doing. A lot of people, and Austin Lowe, you know John Malott as well as I do, he talks about people having multiple trickles of income. Like a lot of people talk about multiple streams, but that term is being thrown around like a freaking baseball. Like you don't have multiple streams of income. You have multiple trickles. You're making $50 a month over here, $300 a month over there, $250 a month over there with that opportunity. Guys, let solar, look, you didn't grow up. You didn't grow up and tell yourself, I want to be a solar consultant when you grow up, right? When you were little, when they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? You didn't say you wanted to be a solar consultant. But that's the world we live in now. So when kids are asked that at school, they will say those things now. So back then, it wasn't like that, right? And so a lot of people can't fathom or understand that you can have a career in solar. It's your job to share that information. Share it in a nice, subtle way. Go on your social media and say, top 3 reasons why people want to go solar. Top 3 reasons why people want to work with me. Top 3 reasons why I love my team. And it's just solar content, solar content. Top 3 reasons why people are looking to buy solar. Top 3 reasons why you should not buy solar, right? So get the message out. This is how I have won. This is how I've won in the last 3 years, is constant sharing of content, constant asking for referrals, constantly inviting, constantly being turned down, constantly being told this is a Ponzi scheme, constantly being told this is an MLM. I don't want that. That's a pyramid scheme. Constantly being told I don't believe in solar. I think it's going to crash and burn next year. Constantly. But you have to rise above that. We have proof of concept here. And a lot of people don't have that. And we have that. So share the opportunity, share the reason why people are going solar. And if you can't do it over the phone, on a text message or a call, do it on your Facebook Live. Do it on a story. Record yourself in your office and just do it. People don't care anymore what you look like when you're doing a video. Trust me, they don't care. You could be laying on the ground. They'll step around you. They'll walk around you. They don't care. Don't care about what everybody else thinks about how you look. Do I have the lighting correct? Oh, I wish I had a bookcase like Eric in the background. Nobody gives a shit, right? Just get the information out there. Get the information out there. Be that person. Be that expert. Be the one that they know. Shit, you know what? Ron's always talking about solar, because guess what? Somebody at work on the water cooler talk is going to go, damn, my CPS bill's high. Man, there was this guy who knocked on my door. I don't know who he was, but I don't know. That solar thing seems kind of interesting. Then somebody's going to say, you know what? They're going to remember Ron's videos. They're going to remember Ron's calls. They're going to remember his DMs. They're going to remember his emails. And they go, I have a friend. His name's Ron. Let me get you his information. Guys, don't be a secret. Don't be a secret agent. Get out there. Tell everybody what you do. Don't make any apologies. I had somebody today tell me, and he was honest. It was a friend from 20 years ago. Hey, Eric, I've been seeing what you're doing, but it seems like a Ponzi scheme, right? And that was it. That's what he stopped at. You know what most people will do? Most people will freak out. Oh, it's not a Ponzi scheme. Blah, blah, blah. What do you mean? What does that mean? Well, you know, when you recruit somebody like your boss, and your boss is you're in a pyramid too. Like, calm down, relax. It's okay. It's okay. They're not educated. They don't understand. Now you can calm down and say, you know what? I know how you feel. Matter of fact, I felt the same way. This is called feel, felt, found. Now write that down. Feel, felt found. I understand how you feel. As a matter of fact, I felt the same way. But when I really looked into Powur, I found out that you don't have to recruit one single person and you can still make six figures in this company because our product stands alone without needing an opportunity attached to it. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's all I have to say.
Eric,
I appreciate y'all. Matt, you have a question?
I want to, if I've got like 5 minutes, I want to drop some wisdom.
Yeah, no problem. You know what? Go ahead and close us out then.
Okay. So today, just for fun, I resigned from my job to take Powur seriously because I want to go all in, right? So that was a big move on my part. Really excited about it. I immediately leave and go and meet with my ex-boss from my last company from 5 years ago and tell him exactly what I've been up to. And the first thing that he asked about was that kind of sounds like, you know, like an MLM, what you're describing. And I said, you know, what's really cool is that this company in particular, they take care of their leadership and they promote within, right? So you want to make more money. The more that you're responsible for, the more you're going to be allotted. That's just business, right? And they're investing more in their leaders than they are in the CEO because they believe in the company and the people on my team. So if you want to be a part of that and have the opportunity to be a real leader and make leadership money, then you're at the right spot. Right? So he was like, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, what does it look like? Like you got 2 people, you just got promoted. You got 5 people that you're directly mentoring and taking care of. That's more responsibility. You're going to get promoted again. I said 10, 20, and 40. These promotions allow you to take care of more people because you're going to be incentivized to do so because as a leader, people are going to look to you. He said, well, I want to do that. That sounds amazing. I'm burnt out at my job. I've been doing this for 10 years and I want more. And I said, well, guess what? I can give you more and you can work less if you do exactly what I'm doing. And he decided that he's going to jump on board. And guess what? He's not even going on my team. He's going on one of my team members' teams because I didn't reach out fast enough. I recruited Charlie. I think you met him on the phone last week. He reached out to my boss before I could, recruited him, set the appointment up with me in San Antonio, and I went and closed him, right? Because we take care of our team members. We help our teams grow teams. So then I go to the Spectrum store to go and return in a router that I no longer need because I got a Nero Wi-Fi router. And I leave with the main rep's number. Because I said, you know, you're too sociable to just be making money here. Like, have you ever thought about making real money? He's like, I don't know what that means. It's like, well, I do solar and that's where the real money's at. Right? Boom. He's curious. He asks what the potential earnings are. I tell him the truth. The dude wants to partner up and have coffee. I leave. I go to GVTC to turn in my old router because I'm canceling GVTC. And the person at the desk is literally begging for a job. I'm not even kidding. She's probably 65 years old. And she's like, I've been trying to apply here. I think it'd be a great salesperson for you guys. Please don't mind my age. Everybody keeps turning me down because I'm too old. But I've got a lot of wisdom and experience and I'm valuable and I need to talk to somebody so they can see that. And I said, hey, ma'am, I know that they're not offering you a job, but would you like to come work with me? And she said, what do you do? And I said, I sell solar and I probably make more than you would make here anyways. And she said, well, I've been a division sales president in the last company and I'm just looking to get back to work because I'm tired of being at home. I said, you know what, let's get coffee this week. I'll set you up for success. So no matter where you're at, the people that you're talking to, they can see the potential. And guess what? After that conversation, the person behind the desk heard everything and said, hey, do you pay referrals for people that aren't working for you? I said, of course. And I sent her my business card digitally so I could get her phone number. And guess what? I landed all those people today. So that's how it's done.
Matt, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, bro. Man, again, that brings tears to my eyes because that's the grind. That is the grind, man. That's what it takes.
Oh, I got one more. I went to get CBD at my best friend's shop. He owns the shop, right? I'm like, I just quit. I'm going to get some stuff. I'm going to celebrate. I got some Delta 8, got some Delta 9, got some Delta 10, right? I'm heading out. And the lady's like, man, so why are you so excited? What are you leaving for? Like, why'd you leave Lennar? I thought you made crazy money. It's like, well, I'm about to make even more money. She's like, what do you do? So I just unload on her quick, synopsis. And she's like, oh my gosh, my husband can't find a job anywhere. And he's super, super friendly. Like, you think he could do good? I was like, not only could he do good, I can ensure if he stays and copies what I'm doing, he will do good. And if he wants to meet me for coffee, I can meet him this week. And she's like, he's interested. I'm like, you haven't even talked to him. She's like, I know. I'm going to talk to him tonight. He's interested. And I said, guess what? Your owner, her husband is joining my team. Why don't you tell him that you want to join his team? Because I'm trying to get him excited to leave Lennar. He's the -- sales rep in Lennar. Tell him that I just found him his first team member.
Matt, you congratulations on starting a new path full-time in Powur Solar. Guys, give him a round of applause. Show him an emoji. Tell him congratulations in the chat box. Matt, we got your back, bro. 100%.
Congratulations, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Watch out for this guy, guys. You better get out there and hustle, because if not, he's going to scoop up all your neighbors, your friends, your family. Just like Bobby says, if you're not going to recruit him, I will.
That's actually what's so hard, because half the people I'm talking to are already getting sold solar, and I'm afraid that if I don't hurry, somebody else is going to sell them. Like legit, I'm not even lying.
Yep.
Yeah, just stay out of my neighborhood, buddy.
Well, I can't make that promise.
So everybody, September 10th is super important for your business. If you're not in San Antonio, if you're in Dallas, guys, DFW, Austin, Dana, even Florida, if you want to take a trip out here, it's going to be an amazing event. We had 80 people at our event last time. It would be we have a bigger area, okay? On September 10th, it's going to be literally in the same foyer area, but in another office with a bigger area. And if we pack that place like we had it last time, standing room only, guys, it's only helping all of our businesses. That's it. If we plug in together and make a commitment to bring 1 to 2 guests, like, people are going to see the excitement. They're going to see the excitement, and they're going to want to be a part of that. And that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to end it with this. You're in the right business. You're in the best industry. You are. Every other industry is great. It's paying, but it's a lot of them are saturated. A lot of them are saturated. So right now you have the opportunity to build an empire that you see on TV, that you see these rappers rapping about when they're talking about their freaking their condos or villas in Miami. This is big money, guys. Like, we're talking about big money here. And I'm not saying you want a villa like a rapper, but I'm just saying that this is the kind of life in this industry can build you a lifestyle that you've never dreamed of. But that's it. I have anything. Houston, you good to go?
I think that's all I got for tonight, guys. Appreciate you joining us. I know it was a lot of information. If you guys have any questions, need any help, let me know. I challenge you to do what Eric said. Go out and check out your breaker on your house and try and figure out what the bus bar size is, what your current your current main breaker is, and try and figure out how much space would you have for solar. It's a great little exercise to learn more, get better, and ultimately, again, save yourself and your clients money. And that's ultimately what it's all about, guys. So with that, appreciate y'all joining us. Have a good night. We will talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Then everybody, take care.